This whole site, this entire piece of land was once a basic industrial manufacturing facility for alcoholic drinks. And that is kind of the past of Waterloo region and a manufacturing center for all of Canada. What we're building here now is a center of learning for the information age and for the knowledge age. And so that's the history of this region, moving from traditional manufacturing to the knowledge capital of Canada, as David Johnson liked to say. That's why I particularly like Shirley's interpretation of the building as representing the traditional Oxbridge kind of structure form, the quadrangle, but a modern interpretation of it. It nicely ties the past with the present, and I think this entire site, the way the Seagram building has been preserved, but for a new knowledge center, a think tank, that's going on all through the region, and it's nicely encapsulated here.
It's clearly not the final piece in this this concept and this inviting the world to come here and sharing information, but it's starting to get close. And when you were mentioning outside, Shirley, just the Perimeter Institute was over there, and this was over here, and then there was a big lot. It really has brought it together in a tremendous way.
It's very exciting.
It's very exciting. We try to actually respect the industrial past of Waterloo, and it's also, if I may say, because I live in Toronto, it's a place that's free of pretension here. I say that as a compliment, right, coming from Toronto. And the kind of directness and the simple kind of brick building. So on the exterior, the client group very much wanted us to use brick, which is great because it refers to the past. But then when you walk into the building, in the courtyard, it's all about the future and the kind of amazing transformation and the kind of excellence in innovation that's happening here. So it's a pretty interesting time, I think, to be doing this. So, where we're standing now is the entrance court for both the CIGI building and for our new Balsillie school. And where that little bit of concrete juts out right there, that's actually the line of the vestibule, and you can see the edge of the lobby there. And that is actually the theatre volume. There's 250-seat theatre in there. It will be very, very glassy. Contrast to the old brick buildings and our new brick buildings, which is here, and this is the main entrance to the school. So this volume will be clad in Ontario limestone from Hope Bay. When you enter here, you will see into the courtyard, which is like a sanctuary for the school. And then the ceiling here will be clad in wood, and there's a huge cantilever that comes out, which is also clad in wood on the underside. So it'll be a little different. That's where we're standing now.
And that's the inside of it.
Yeah. And that's looking that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And this is all glass wall. This is what we call the courtyard area.
And this will be a cafe, so the students will basically be able to sit here, study, have coffee. This is the cafe area. All of these spaces are designed for social use as well. We wanted the building to be very lively, so we've got a lot of spaces where we've built places where the students can come together and study, or you could be on your own in this building, or one-on-one, or in a group. But the whole idea is actually to really animate the building and to encourage discourse. This is the auditorium for 250 people. And it'll be very well set up in terms of AV capability. Sorry. And then at the back, there is, between that building and the auditorium building, there's a deck at the second level. And then you connect to the other academic building across the way. So this is basically for any kind of lectures, film projection, and so on. And also it's been designed so that it could be used for an interactive lecture or video conferencing with another facility anywhere in the world.
Did you have to think ahead about what type of technology might exist just a few years down the road to incorporate that into it? I mean, things are changing every day.
That's right, and in fact, the technology will have changed by the time this building's complete. So what you do is you anticipate that and you allow space. That's the kind of the best you can do for flexibility, so that they can keep upgrading it as they will.
For sure.
Yeah. And then we've set the building back on Herb Street so that we can have a double row of trees, get a good buffer between this very busy arterial road and the classroom building. So it's a generous, nicely paved sidewalk with, you know, very well landscaped, and we're hoping that that not only provides a nice buffer but also gives something really nice to the public to enjoy on Herb Street. It softens the edge.
I guess you've got the flexibility of putting those trees there. I guess when land is, especially in big urban areas where land is incredibly expensive,
Yes.
maybe aesthetics and
there is more pressure indeed, and I think it's fantastic actually that the city of Waterloo has chosen to do this campus. I know there was a lot of pressure on this land because it's very developable for commercial purposes, but I think in terms of transforming this precinct of the city and sort of growing the downtown, or I should say uptown Waterloo, this way, where it meets these institutions, this is a bit of a bridging site, and so we really wanted to make sure that the streetscapes, what we gave to the streetscape in the public realm, was really respectful and really improved the public realm. And fortunately, the clients were behind that. So when you have a classroom building, you have to span 30 to 40 feet to clear the classrooms, right, without columns. To do that conventionally, you'd have to have beams that are about 2.5 feet deep on, 20-foot centers plus your slab. So that's 2.5 to 3 foot of concrete. And you're taking up a lot of space and having to build the building higher and so on. When I was in Germany a few years ago for a conference, I saw this product that they've used a lot there called bubble. And what it is, quite simply, is you can span the same distance in a wafer that is 14 inches thick by inserting in the middle where you actually do not have any structural requirement of the material. You don't need the concrete in compression or tension. It's not doing anything. By putting in these, basically look like giant golf balls in the middle. There you go. There it is.
Wow.
What happens is, in the precaster shop, they cast the slab, and then they come with these in a bunch of cages, right? It comes to the site. This becomes the formwork, which is what is really ingenious. And they have these sort of giant trusses that they just take from floor to floor just to prop it up, okay? And then you put the bubble deck in their cages on top. You put the rebar down. In our case, we have in-slab heating and cooling, so the mechanical electrical trades had to put those in there. And then they pour the top slab, and it all becomes basically very, very strong structurally and can span 30 to 40 feet. The cement industry actually is responsible for 5% of global emissions, the airline industry for 3%. So when you understand that statistic, it's pretty amazing. So as architects and builders, we have a responsibility. The bubble deck saves 30% of the concrete. So environmentally, it's an excellent thing. And also, you can imagine, instead of putting formwork up and so on, the construction goes pretty quickly once you get into it. It's the first time it's been used in Ontario, and Cooper's done an amazing job. It's a bit of a learning curve, but they did a terrific job. I think this would also be a good time. We're standing on the part of the site. This whole site was planned as a campus for learning, and there are additional phases being planned in the future.
The Balsillie campus is going to be a collection of institutions that together have the capacity to actually change the world, to make the world a better place. It includes the Balsillie School of International Affairs. That's a partnership between CIGI, the think tank, and the two universities here. It will also include a future, possibly, School of Trade and Innovation, global trade and innovation. They'll have programs about intellectual property and trade and tariffs. It could include a law program that will be an international law program in a partnership between CIGI and an existing law school somewhere in Ontario, but located here in Waterloo. And it could include the Morrison Center, which is a proposed center of studies of peace and conflict. And so when you have all of these students for all these different programs, and the researchers, the faculty, and the think tank all operating together, you get synergies. You have the think tank's ability to bring world leaders and practitioners in policy from all around the globe to here in Waterloo, and then you have the up-and-coming students who bring the cutting-edge ideas from their studies, and the researchers. All of that creates a hub of excellence, a critical mass that could actually change the world.